In the quiet town of Greenwood, nestled between rolling hills and thick pine forests, a group known as the Rescuers quietly kept watch over the natural world. They were not your average group of animal lovers. Composed of 5 childhood friends, now in their late teens, the Rescuers had spent every summer since they were 10 patrolling the woods, streams, and meadows near their town, armed with nothing more than their compassion, a handmade first aid kit, and a walkie-talkie network that spanned the entire region. At the head of the group was Maya, the strategist. With sharp eyes and a sharper mind, she could decipher animal tracks better than most park rangers. Then there was Leo, the gentle giant, whose strong arms had lifted more trapped animals than any of them could count. Sarah, the smallest but fastest, was the runner and scout. Ben was the tech wizard, who modified drones and designed sensors to track movement in remote areas. And finally, Tilly, the empath, seemed to have a connection to animals that was borderline magical. She could calm even the most frightened creature with a whisper. It was late spring when the call came. Maya had set up a sensor near the old wooden fence that bordered the abandoned McAllister farm. It was a known hazard for wildlife, a rusting structure with splintered wood and twisted barbed wire. Birds often flew too low and clipped their wings. Deer had scraped themselves trying to leap it. But on this day, the sensor didn't just alert them to movement. It sent an SOS signal. A bird was in distress, and from the sound of it, badly injured. "Everyone, we have a code Ruby," Maya announced into her walkie. Her voice, usually calm, carried a hint of urgency. The team mobilized within minutes. Leo strapped on his rescue gear, Tilly grabbed the animal-safe sedatives and gauze. Ben pulled up drone footage to assess the situation while Sarah dashed ahead on her bike, reaching the fence line in less than 10 minutes. What she saw made her heart twist. A majestic hawk, its feathers a beautiful tapestry of gold and brown, hung limp against the fence. One wing was grotesquely twisted between 2 rusted wires, and its beak clicked softly, either from pain or fear. Blood glistened on the barbs. "I am here," she whispered into her walkie. "It's bad. The wing might be broken." "We're en route," Maya replied. "Hold tight. Don't get too close. Let it see you, not a threat." Sarah crouched low, keeping her eyes soft and movements slow. The hawk's gaze flicked to her, unblinking, filled with wild fear but also something else, a strange kind of plea. She began humming softly, a lullaby her grandmother used to sing. The bird relaxed slightly. 15 minutes later, the rest of the team arrived. Leo approached with calm precision. "Tilly, talk to it," he said. Tilly knelt beside Sarah, whispering softly, not in words exactly, but in feelings. Her voice was melodic, full of empathy. The hawk blinked slowly. "He's hurting, but he's not ready to give up," Tilly said, placing a hand gently on the fence near the bird. Maya studied the fence. "Ben, I need that drone. Show me the angle of the barbs. We need to cut without moving the wing." The team worked like clockwork. Maya directed the rescue, while Ben guided them using the drone's live feed. Leo used bolt cutters to gently snap through the wire, millimeter by millimeter. Sarah held a blanket to shield the hawk from sudden gusts of wind. Tilly kept whispering. It took nearly an hour. When the final snip freed the wing, the hawk cried out sharply, but didn't struggle. Leo cradled it against his chest as they placed it into a specially designed carrier lined with soft towels and feathers. "To the shelter," Maya said. "Ben, call Dr. Lysander. Tell her we're coming in hot." Dr. Lysander was an avian specialist and a longtime friend of the rescuers. Her clinic sat at the edge of the Greenwood Nature Preserve, a place that had become a second home to the team. The car ride was tense. Every bump in the road felt amplified by the quiet whimper of the hawk. Tilly kept her hand inside the carrier, fingers gently touching the bird's side. "His name is Rowan," she said suddenly. Maya looked back. "You saw that?" "He told me," Tilly said simply. "He's brave. He was trying to fly home." They reached the clinic just as the sun began to set. Dr. Lysander met them at the door, her silver hair tied back in a long braid, eyes sharp behind thin glasses. "Bring him in. Let's see what we're dealing with." The examination confirmed their fears. Rowan's wing was broken in 2 places. He was dehydrated, weak, and in pain. But he was also, miraculously, still fighting. We'll need to keep him for weeks, Dr. Lysander said. But he has a chance. He's lucky you got to him in time. The team exchanged tired but hopeful looks. We don't leave anyone behind, Maya said. For the next several days, the rescuers took shifts visiting Rowan. Tilly sang to him. Ben set up a small camera to monitor his progress remotely. Sarah brought him fresh feathers and lined his perch with pine needles from the forest he loved. Leo carved a small wooden hawk and set it beside Rowan's cage, as if to remind him of what he was fighting for. But something else began to stir in Greenwood. At night, other birds began circling the clinic. Owls, sparrows, even a pair of crows, all silent, all watchful. As if they knew. Maya noticed it first. It's like they waiting, she said one evening as they left the clinic. For what? Asked Ben. Tilly turned her face to the moon. For Rowan to fly again. Weeks passed, and Rowan remained at the clinic, slowly healing under the watchful eyes of Dr. Lysander and the rescuers. His strength began to return, but his wing remained fragile, encased in a delicate splint. Each day, Tilly sat beside him, her voice threading hope into his heart, while Leo built a custom rehabilitation aviary in the clinic's courtyard, giving Rowan room to stretch and test his limits. It was during one of these quiet evenings that the team noticed the gathering had grown. Dozens of birds now perched on wires, rooftops, and trees surrounding the clinic. Some came with bits of straw or feathers, dropping them near the aviary, as though offering tribute. Others sang strange, mournful songs at dusk. The air hummed with silent expectancy. Maya tracked the bird arrivals, entering coordinates and dates into Ben's mapping system. They're coming from all over. These aren't local populations. Ben frowned at the screen. It's like a pilgrimage. Sarah walked in from her scout run. You won't believe this. There's a bald eagle at the northern ridge. Just watching. Even Dr. Lysander, ever the pragmatist, seemed unnerved. I've never seen anything like it. It's as though the entire sky is holding its breath. One cloudy afternoon, Rowan stood on the highest perch of his aviary and spread his wings. The splint had been removed a day earlier, and though his movements were cautious, they held promise. Tilly placed a gloved hand over her heart. He's ready, she said. No way to know until he tries, Lysander cautioned. But if he fails mid-flight. He won't, Maya said. He didn't survive all this just to fall. The rescuers prepared for the attempt. Leo and Maya cleared the surrounding trees. Ben calibrated a high-speed drone to follow and record the flight. Sarah laid out soft landing mats below, just in case. Dawn arrived in golden silence. The world outside the clinic seemed to pause. Birds lined every surface, unmoving, as though waiting for a sign. Rowan stepped to the edge of his perch. Tilly opened the aviary door. A beat passed. Then another. The hawk looked at each of them, his eyes reflecting every moment of pain, care, and healing he'd endured. Then he leapt. His wings caught the air, unsure at first, wobbling like a kite in erratic wind. Gasps escaped the rescuers, but they remained still. Rowan dipped, caught an updraft, and rose. He soared. Cheers broke out. Birds erupted into song. The sky filled with feathers and flapping wings as Rowan rose higher and higher, looping once above the clinic before turning north toward the distant line of pines. Ben's drone captured it all, the miracle of flight reclaimed. Back on the ground, the team stood in awed silence. Where's he going? Sarah asked. Home, Maya said. But that wasn't the end. That evening, as the team gathered at their headquarters, an old treehouse deep in the woods, their walkies crackled to life. Movement detected, came the voice of their automated sensor AI. Sector 12. Possible distress. Ben checked the screen. It's near the ridge. Same place the eagle was spotted. Maya stood. Rescuers, it's time. They grabbed their gear and vanished into the twilight. As they rode toward Sector 12, the full moon rose overhead. A shadow passed across it, a large bird, wings wide and strong. Rowan. He circled above them, a silent guardian in the night sky. And the rescuers rode faster, their hearts full, knowing they were not alone. Not anymore.